Hey, good morning, y'all. How is everybody doing this morning? What's up? If you guys are noticing that I am number one, me and the guy who made my intro, the one that usually use, decided the guy decided to go Asperger's on me today and tell me to delete all the stuff that he did for me so I don't have any of the videos that I used to have. I am, right now very thank. Here's the thing. Thank God, Hat Rod made that one. Mine, m- mine, mine. Actually, my Cash App. Someone, Hat Rod or someone did that. Hat Rod did that. That I did that, and then a lot of now I'm having to go and use old stuff that I have, but I am very grateful about it. The guy went very fucking crazy on me today, and I'm also right now in a lot of pain due to the fact I think I messed up my back. And you're sitting there, people are. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody that watches the show. Welcome to the show. My name is Jake. Uh, don't need these right now. I also have a big thing. Bobby Nick is not with our show anymore. Bobby Nick, I wish Bobby Nick well in his future endeavors. Again, he is no longer part of the show. I am not excited. It's something that happened. Yeah, and also over the weekend, Alex Jones was in the news again. Oh, that's right. I have this. Is it? Good morning, guys. How is everybody doing? I hope. Um, yeah, I am. Let me set this up. You know, I got a little gift coming soon. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to anyone that has been watching the streams. Yeah, Alex Alex Jones. Guys, we do have a goal of $20. Oh, and by the way, we have a new rule. If Holyoke is on stream and you want him to get off this is a little something that I said before. If Holyoke Joe is on stream and you want him off, just put $50 in my Cash App or Venmo, and he's gone from the stream for one stream. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Joe, he did pay. He did pay. Adam did pay on get you off. Yeah, he did get. Yeah, I hope everybody knows. Everybody knows. Is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and what comes here? Um, Joe, check your whisper. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Check your whispers, Joe. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's that when did Molly? Oh, here's Joe. Good morning.
Yes, sir. How you feeling?
Good morning. How you doing this morning? Hold on. Let me get it set up here. TV set up. I should have waited. Ladies and gentlemen,
Woo!
from the Public Love Fun Show. For plus from also you've wrestled in WWE before, right? Or refereed matches.
I've done everything you could ever do that I ever wanted to do. I've even done something that I've never even talked about before here. I actually, one of my goals after being in the ring with Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Batista, John Cena, The Rock, and so on and so forth. One of my goals after all that, like how can you top that, right, Jake?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? How can you top being on pay per view with Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels? Well, I topped it by doing it when Raw went off the air in Montreal with Hogan, John Cena, and Batista. Well, how do you
Yeah.
top that? You know what I mean? So, how do you keep topping when you reach the top of the top, right? Well, I really
Yeah.
like Chris Angel. How do you feel about Chris Angel?
I think he's a good part. Chris Angel, the magician.
Yeah,
The He's a good guy.
he's so amazing. Yeah, and I've always thought he was amazing. And every time I watch his shows, I could get the hair standing up on my arms and just get so excited by not just the fact that he pulls it off, but just the idea of making an elephant appear out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like just the conception and then figuring it out after how to do it. That's just all to me is just amazing. So one of my goals, even though I don't know magic at all, and I did practice,
Yeah.
but I forget it real quick. When I learn it, I forget it. So one of my goals was to do a magic trick on stage with Chris Angel, and it
Yeah.
happened June 29th of 2019. I actually performed on stage one demonstration with Chris Angel. So just when you thought I'd done it all, there's always something more to do.
Yeah. But I want to say number one, what was Bubba talking about this morning on the after show?
As far as he talked about a lot of stuff. Pick a. You mean the Palestinians and the Pride
No,
Parade?
he was taught. He was, the one thing that there was also another thing that happened over the weekend. Infowars might be Dunzo.
Yeah, you mentioned that the last time I was on.
Infowars, Alex Jones.
I don't think so. I think it's too big. I think that even if Alex Jones went away, someone else like Owen or whatever his name is would pick up the slack and take over. Or do you think Alex Jones is it, just like on the Rush Limbaugh show? If there's no more Rush Limbaugh show because there's no more Rush Limbaugh, would it be the same with Alex
He
Jones?
said he did say on the show he did on Saturday that he cannot own InfoWars anymore because of
Oh,
all the bullshit that they said that he did.
right. So somebody else he'll just pass ownership on to somebody else. That's all.
Goose just messaged me.
Goose?
I thought she was blocked.
Who is Goose?
My former friend Goose. That
It's a girl?
yeah,
Nice.
she's a
Don't
friend
block her.
of yeah, but she blocked me first.
Well, fuck her. Let her unblock her. Look, words will never hurt you, Jake. Just remember
Yeah.
that. It's just words. Nobody's running into either one of our rooms and running up on us and trying to punch us. Just me. That only happened to me once since I've been here. But that
Yeah.
was somebody in here. That wasn't somebody that came from the outside world. Crazy resident. But he's since been relocated. If you can imagine this, I'm in Boston, right? I'm stuck in Boston, which I hate. And the guy that came and punched me in my room, guess where he's at? He's in
Where?
Holyoke. He's in Holyoke, where I belong.
Your hometown.
How does that make any sense? He could have gone anywhere in the world, and they sent him out of here, and now he's in Holyoke, dude. Unreal.
Yeah. By the way, so did you? How many people did you work with that are now in WWE or AEW or in other companies?
At least 20 or 30. I mean, you can name them, and I'll tell you yes or no.
Cena.
Oh, of course.
You said you worked with Velvet
I'm
Sky.
the one. I'm the one that brought her into wrestling, brother. I'm the one that she because I knew her when she was 17. She was dating a friend of mine, and she had expressed interest in getting into wrestling because she had always liked wrestling as a child. So I said, all right, well, you can't train until you're 18. When you're 18, give me a call. So she turned 18. She gave me a call. She started driving from Connecticut 1 hour up to Massachusetts every day. We would train. I would train her in the ring. I would beat her up just like I would beat up a man. I didn't treat her any different because she was a girl, you know. And I wanted to really express the fact that she could be a good physical wrestler. I was teaching her moves that I invented. Like, she used the name Talia Madison when she first started in wrestling. So I came up with a Talia World neck breaker. It's basically like a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, but you tilt it around all the way and then keep spinning into a neck breaker. It's really phenomenal. No one still has done it to this day. So I was coming up with moves for her, and she's already beautiful. So she's already going to gain attention. And then it was time to start introducing her to some of the promoters. And when I did, that was my downfall because I sent her to the wrong place first, and I paid the price for it. Oh well.
What was the company that you sent her to? If you don't mind me
I
asking.
sent her to Jason Knight's company, Assault Championship Wrestling.
Jason Knight, is he still around? Was he the one in ECW that is he? If I'm getting confused,
Yep.
was he the one that came in with a green suit on?
No. He was with the Impact Players. He was with Lance Storm and Justin Credible and Don Marie.
Oh yeah.
He was the one that wore the thin tank top with the muscles all jacked and tan and oiled up. But so regardless, go ahead. You had a question?
Also, another person from that area that you might have worked with, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, she was Mercedes KV. She's from out in Boston. And then her husband, Kid Makazi,
sorry.
That's what he wrestled as. He wrestled as Kid Makazi. But he ended up getting a job in WWF when she did. He was doing the seamstress stuff behind the scenes, but he was still on the road. He was on the road on Raw. He was on the road on SmackDown. Just he wasn't wrestling. But I wrestled him on January 18th of 2004 in one of my wrestling shows. the worst thing could have ever happened you could imagine. Now, you know, when you set a show, you're setting it out months in advance, so you have time to promote it, correct?
Yeah.
So I had already established this show back in September that I was going to have. I was going to have a show in October and I was going to have a show in January. So January 18th, 2004, I set the show for a 1 p.m. on a Sunday. Well, it just so happens to be that the Patriots make it to the AFC Championship game. And guess what day and guess what time the game is? January 18th, 2004, 1 o'clock. So Bubba told me, cancel the show. You're not going to draw. Cancel it. On top of that, Jake, guess what happened? On the day of the show, there was a blizzard. So none of my talent from Connecticut could come up to Massachusetts. So I lost 50% of my card. So I had to rework everything. And that's why I ended up wrestling in the main event against Sasha Banks' former husband. But I mean, have you seen him? Have you ever seen him?
I've only seen him on like Up, Up, Down, Down.
But you've seen him, right? You seen him?
Yeah.
All right. So now picture him and Sasha Banks, or picture Sasha Banks with anybody else in WWF. Picture her with like what's that kid's name? Austin Theory, or the other guy, his tag team partner, Grace Waller, or any of these guys that with any body wrestlers. Just picture her, all these giant, muscular, attractive men. And how long do you really think she's going to sustain?
Sorry to interrupt, but I do have I wanted to cover this. April and Aaron, Aaron and April Aaron's going to the Big D and don't mean Dallas. Sorry,
he's going to the Who Scout?
No, he's getting divorced. The Big D.
Oh, okay.
When I say Big D, I mean divorced.
Gotcha. I thought he was going to jail.
He's basically April is the one that got caught.
Gotcha.
Nick was Nick, but I just want to say that I do. And the thing is like people saying, "Oh, Jake, you need to stop telling Aaron to shut up." I'm telling him to shut up so he doesn't cost him the case. If it doesn't, you could ruin Nick Rekieta's case. The stuff you're talking about, genius.
Right, your best bet in all cases is to shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Even if the police ask you a question, you don't have to talk. I learned that the hard way. I tried lying for a kid that killed himself so his family didn't know that he killed himself. And now I'm the one obstructing justice and I'm the one that's going to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, like I said on the show on Saturday, Dan Diaco, Jay Diaco, Steve Diaco, was it Steve Diaco?
He used to be an attorney. He's been disbarred, unfortunately.
All right.
Probably not allowed to talk about that.
All right. The Diacos plus Babyface and who's the female attorney, the one that Bubba always has?
Regina Hunter. She does more family law. She would be handling divorce stuff.
Yeah.
And then Brian Matroni, he handles like personal injury type stuff. Slip and fall.
Kevin Hazlett.
Yep, he's there too. But he's more big. He's way more big time now.
Yeah.
Ever since he run for Congress,
yeah,
he's elevated his game to a whole nother level now. So he's not even in. He doesn't even come in anymore.
And I'm sorry that I'm saying this. One of the things that I've always said is Aaron should keep his mouth shut. A lot of the big attorneys would tell him to shut the fuck up. Tell him to shut up about this.
Well,
not talk about it.
Let me tell you, Jake. Sometimes as a content creator, we live our lives so much in the open, and we're so honest and truthful about everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to our detriment. So, like when I first went through the legal situation that I went through, or now that I've gone through the sickness situation that I went through, all the times that Bubba is asking me questions, I'm always answering them honestly. So even if it's to my detriment, even if it's like, yeah, I did drugs, or yeah, I have sex with all these different women, or any of this stuff that's bad, I'm not doing it now. So obviously I've overcome it. Obviously I'm clean. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not smoking cigarettes. So all that stuff is a positive, but I did it. I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you I didn't do it. But now I just don't see a need for it. It's a waste of money and it's not good for your health. And we can go on and on why all that stuff's bad for you. But I had to learn it the hard way. Does that make sense, Jake?
Yeah. And the thing is, and also you said on earlier streams that you worked with Mike Bennett, Miracle
Yeah,
Mike
of
Bennett.
course. But I was on every show Mike Bennett was on, I was on. So
Yeah.
Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Vinny Marsaglia, who's now Vincent, part of that tag team with Duke and AEW. What are they called? I always forget the name of
Religious.
their
I think
team.
it was religious. Religious.
It's like the four in the first.
Righteous. Righteous.
Righteous, yes. You're good, man. You're good.
But here's a little thing. They were that's the same tag team name they had in ROH.
Oh, okay, because I never worked with whatever his name is. Dutch, I think his name is. Dutch, right? The one that looks like the big boss man and does the boss man slam. But now they're putting those guys together with Lance Archer, and they're putting them together as a trio.
Wait,
and I love Lance Archer, brother. I don't know about you, but I think he's amazing.
He in WWE? Was he in WWE before?
He was. He was terrible. He was so awful in WWF, and then once they fired him, he went over to Japan, and he started taking himself seriously. And once he elevated that game, now he came back. AEW signed him, and everybody dies. That's his song. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard it. Yeah. And he's got a new finish. He's just got it. He's got it going on.
So did you get to work with Jimmy Rave?
Jimmy Ray. Who's that? Where's he from?
Jimmy Rave. He was from like the Philadelphia area.
Jimmy Rave, the skinny kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you said Jimmy Ray. I thought you meant Jimmy Del Rey from the Heavenly Bodies.
No.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
One of the people on YouTube says, Jimmy, don't give him a mic, Rave. Because of a promo that he did. Because of a promo he did in at Ring of Kings. People didn't like.
Hey,
but
again, you know our favorite saying when we get together: controversy creates cash. So if people are talking about it, then whether it's good or bad, if people are talking about it, then it's good, right?
I remember when he was working with GTS, Grimm's Toy Show Wrestling out of New Jersey. I remember watching his matches in GTS, and unfortunately we lost him. He had a staph infection. It was an amputee.
That's shit. It happens to the best of us. Wrestlers are human too. Yeah. For the longest time, I thought I wasn't, man. I'm telling you, I thought I was going to do it at the level I was doing it until I was 80 years old. I didn't see any signs of stopping whatsoever. So once the thing started and I wasn't able to really walk or put weight on my ankle or my foot anymore, it became a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like people see, like, you know, people are seeing like people trying to do wrestling now. I've seen people do wrestling and do the stupid moves like the pile drivers and stuff. You can get really hurt if you don't know what you're doing.
Not me. And when I give a pile driver, I could pile drive you, Jake, you not knowing how to do anything, and I'd still protect you because I got a huge ass, and my ass would take everything. Your neck, all you'd have to do, I would tell you, Jake, tuck your chin. And I'd lift you up and I'd drop down on my fat ass and I'd protect you. You wouldn't feel a thing. It'd be like laying in bed. You know what I'm saying? That's how good I am. And pile driver is one of my specialties. Even a tombstone. Yeah. I could hold somebody up on a tombstone and I could tell you, Jake, wrap your arms around my waist and tuck your chin. And I could literally jump up and drop down on both my knees and your head wouldn't touch. It would look like it did, but your head wouldn't touch the ring and it would look so bomb. Because I did this. This is all I did. I was the first at the ring and the last to leave every single day when we had a ring.
I usually stream every day, anytime that I want to. If there's any, sorry, I'm just answering an email.
Oh, we got an email? Positive.
No. It's I'm trying to get this guy Will on the show.
Will who?
He's not Will Harrod. He covered Steel Toe. He covers the Lisa Jordana stuff.
Nice.
Nothing's off limits. My schedule's I'm hoping to be off early today, but I have to wait for a UFC fighter to land at the airport tonight. Now,
Sounds like a
I'm
good guest to have on. Sounds like he's got some information to share.
Will actually does a lot. He's a TV person, so it's very good. But I want to talk about something that so what do you think about good old JR, Jim Ross?
I think he's past his prime, and I think he needs to retire.
Yeah. He actually said in an interview that likes AEW better than WWE because in WWE he was a talent relations. In AEW he was just a commentator.
Yeah, that means I'm lazy. I don't want to do all the work necessary. I don't want to use all the knowledge that I've acquired over 30, 40, 50 years of wrestling, watching wrestling and liking wrestling. I'm going to waste that. And then I'm going to go on the microphone with younger people that know more than me. And I'm going to make a fool out of myself because I'm going to stumble and bumble over my words and not know what moves are and not know what storylines are being told. That's the most important thing about a commentator is you need to tell the story, right? That's the job of the commentator. The wrestlers do the action, but the commentators are telling us the story of why what's happening is happening. So when you have a guy that and he's slobbered over himself and you don't know if he's going to even live through the broadcast, I mean, they're trotting him out for one match and then they need to put him back because he can't even make it through one match. So it's time for him to retire. Sorry, man. Wrestling has evolved. Just like Tony
Yeah,
Schiavone, he's been around for 30 years. People may think he's great at his job, but how much mileage can you get out of Sting? And then he tried to do it to somebody else. It's like, dude, no. No. We have evolved. People love nostalgia, yes. But on the same token, wrestling has evolved from the 80s to the 90s. Look at the Attitude Era, 2000s, 2010, 2020, and look where we are now. Look how far we've come. And look how
yeah,
long it's been. Just since the
yeah.
Attitude Era, it's been almost 30 years. You mean to tell me the stuff that worked in the Attitude Era is going to work today?
No,
No, because wrestling's evolved. So why, if
yeah,
these guys like Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross aren't willing to evolve with it, and they want to stay in the past and just keep, oh, this is what we did, living on past accolades. Wrestling is a what have you done for me lately business. That's why I don't fucking matter to wrestling right now because I put in my work. I put in my 20 plus years. My last show was on November 9th, 2019. I had to use 2 canes just to get into the building. And I was the ring announcer and I sat on the side of the entrance and I did all the ring announcing there. I couldn't even get into the ring because I couldn't even walk, but I could work and my voice was phenomenal. And all the wrestlers are like, oh my God, we never heard our name announced so good. Thank you so much. And that was the last show I could ever work. And that was it. Right after that, I went into the hospital, and that's when I started staying in the hospital forever instead of being a normal individual
yeah.
living life.
I also want to say one of the things about wrestling is I would love to number one, I would love to go and do a guest spot at a wrestling show. There's SWA, I think it's SWA out of is out of here in Mississippi, South Mississippi. They do shows. They have a good TV tapings and stuff. They do
Cool.
TV and
How
stuff.
close are they to where you live?
They do a show. Actually, they do a show right across the city, right across town at the. I think they sometimes do it at the Armory. They do it at Fairgrounds.
I love armories, man. Working at armories is fun because it's hardwood floors. And
Yeah,
oh man, that hardwood, like almost like a basketball
yeah.
type floor.
Oh, I have something for you, brother. And this is something that I'm not gonna because of copyright and stuff. Due to the fact that the guy comes out to Pantera to Pan fucking Terra. Hold on, I'm looking at. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, bro. Is he coming out to walk or some other Pantera song?
I don't remember. It's
Because I used to use
this is
Pantera as an entrance song, but it wasn't Walk. It was a different song.
this is a show. It's the System and Danny Duggan versus D'Lo Brown and Aaron M. Holt from Crush Pro Wrestling.
Okay, Aaron Emhold must be that person from Steel Toe. Is that the same person?
Yeah, and if you want, we could go through this match. He. I'll tell you a little bit. I've watched this match before. He does
Yeah.
a diamond cutter at the end. He does a diamond cutter.
I'll tell you everything you want to know whenever I can see it. And you know what's funny? I was blessed with the match today. A guy I used to wrestle with, he messaged me
Yeah.
first thing this morning, and he messaged me an old match that I refereed, and I took a ref bump, and I sold it for 15 minutes like I was dead. 15 minutes of selling. Who sells that long? This guy.
Whoops. I'm trying to
I'm
get
ready.
right.
Let's do it.
This is actually Crush Pro Wrestling. The System and Danny Duggan, and this is actually I've watched this before.
Mystery Wrestling Science Theater 3000.
We are quite over because the next matchup is your
main event of the evening.
Wow, main event. That's exciting.
Introducing first, the special enforcer for this matchup.
Oh boy.
From the Steel Toe
Morning show.
Oh,
Aaron Impul.
Oh, you hear that music?
yeah.
What's the name of it?
Walk. He's coming out to Rob Van Dam's music. He's doing nothing with his arms. He's doing nothing to excite the crowd. He's not engaged. There he goes. He should have done that when he came out. He's not engaging the crowd at all. Let's slap some hands. There you go.
For the second half of our
Why? That's the wrong way to the ring, buddy. What is he doing? That's it?
Special guest.
He's going to go sit over there.
He's a special guest enforcer for match.
Brother, he should have went in the ring.
Hey man,
He should have got in the ring first, sold, and then got back out. You know what I'm saying?
Enforcer, as big of an honor as that is,
But even as an enforcer, look how far away he is from the ring. What's he going to enforce? He's sitting behind a table 100 feet from the ring.
Main event here. We just saw 6-man tag action, and now we are seeing D'Lo Brown.
This
Danny Duggan,
look at this
System out here.
Look at this.
Aaron Imholt joining
at
us.
this.
I like that he comes out with a fanny pack.
Table. Going to be special guest enforcer for tonight's festivities. And here they come.
What's the name of that song?
I can't hear the song, brother.
All right.
Let him back a second. Let me
Out on a mission.
All right.
Terrible attitude. Is System the kind of deciding factor in you getting?
At least from the mean streets of Winnipeg.
Have you ever worked with D'Lo?
Oh, yeah. I was in Long Island, New York, when D'Lo Brown broke Droz's neck. I was at the show in the Nassau Coliseum. Nobody knew what to do. Everything stopped. Good money. I just got my blood sugar taken. It was 100 even.
Ooh.
My blood sugar's on point. Are you there?
Sorry, I'm just like I'm just letting people know that
Yeah, let me know. I can always fill in words while you do what you gotta do. I got a lot to say. Let's take a look at this crowd here.
I put me and Holyoke Joe from the Bubba Army, the Bubba Twitter. Sorry, I'm doing a lot right now.
Yeah, do what you got to do. While you're doing that, I'll analyze the crowd. Let's take a peek. Let's see how many people we got. If we had to guess, and I'm not asking you, I'm asking the viewers. On the left side of the ring, we got about 50 people. And then behind the referee on the main camera side of the ring.
How far do you let something
I don't
like
know,
this
maybe
go?
about another
Obviously,
50.
you want these two men to settle it in the ring. Is
So we got at
System
least
the kind of
100 so
deciding
far.
factor in you getting involved here? Or,
Oh, yeah.
is it going to be up to how Danny Duggan conducts himself as well? If System behaves himself...
Oh, he's mad.
Here we go.
He's really
D'Lo
mad.
wasted no time.
All right, we're off to a hot start.
This is a fire. He's got Danny taking him quickly off the rope from the Irish
Come
right
get it.
back elbow. He is fully in control of Danny Duggan right now. Those are two big, beefy boys in the ring.
Whoa. I
D'Lo,
don't like
big
that
scoop
slam.
Set him up.
Oh, you know it's coming now.
He better not hit that.
Give him that D'Lo
Oh
leg
my
drop.
God. Why so early?
Leg drop, all that weight, nowhere to go but down.
There we go.
In here.
Not sure what to do. I think I'll
Nothing
pin
up
him.
there, no leg hook.
He's not
D'Lo
even.
Brown just feeling out Danny Duggan. I don't know if these two have ever stepped in the ring before. I take that back. I believe that D'Lo Brown has been up to CWE.
See, my problem with the slam is that he tucked his head for him. On a body slam, if you tuck your opponent's head, you're not trying to hurt him. It isn't that the name of the game? Aren't you trying to hurt your opponent?
A big stink.
Danny Duggan's going to have to
slap
take
in
over
the
at some
chest.
point.
Danny Duggan calling for a timeout.
This D'Lo Brown kicking his ass is
I tell you
sustainable.
what, professional
Right
wrestling,
to the
there are
eyes.
no timeouts. And I tell you who else
Yeah,
I've got
Come
my
on.
eye on the system. He's
Get him in
making
the
a lot of
eyes
noise.
right now.
He's distracting
He's
the
not
referee.
looking.
I don't know how much longer I can let this go.
Dink him in the
The
eyes.
system always makes a lot of noise. He is a
That's what I would
walking
do.
distraction.
Oh, even. Oh,
The
D'Lo
thing is,
caught him.
here's the thing. This is and then he talks about like his, Aaron talks about his boxing career more than he talks about this match. When you look up Aaron Emholt, this was the first thing that came up when you look up Aaron Emholt wrestling.
Yeah, but he's not doing anything. I mean, maybe he comes involved at the end, of course, right?
Actually, here let me show you something. I'm gonna skip through it.
I have
Do
right
it.
now is stop.
Uh-oh.
How long would it
Oh.
take?
He's going for the frog splash. Is this him? Wow.
Someone needs to do something.
So this
That's-
is this is the system. This is the system, and Danny Duggan doing the attack.
Wow. That's the system? That's a man with hair like that?
That
Oh, look at this!
Ringo
Look!
not doing
Oh,
much. It looks like Danny Duggan.
Aaron, you got to get in the
shook him
ring. You
out.
got to do something.
oh, there's Aaron.
Smartly not getting physical.
Well, he is the special guest
He's not a
enforcer.
Like, he's
Head
like,
to
So where the
showers,
hell
he's
is
back
he?
to North.
All right, this is something that I want to show you. I'm gonna play the end for you since we
I want to see
I just
something.
saved the system
look at this.
from getting
Oh, they
out.
got him. He's going to move.
Oh no! Wait a
Oh,
minute!
he's
Wait a
got
minute!
that
No!
fanny
No!
He's got to move.
That thing can't be loaded.
He's
Gotta
gonna
move.
move.
A loaded fanny pack?
He's gonna hit. He's gonna hit it.
Face, meet
Oh, wait
Fanny.
a minute!
Oh!
That's one
Sky
down.
high!
Oh, sky high.
D'Lo taking him down.
How exciting.
Ah!
Ah!
Diamond cutter. I'm sorry.
The cover one,
Double cover?
2, 3.
I didn't know he was a part of the match.
Aaron Imholt and D'Lo Brown.
They're your
This was
winners.
a tag match. This was a tag
Give them
match.
Minnesota.
Why, they turned it into a tag?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in the
Because,
beginning, he was a special guest enforcer. Some
Yeah,
point in
but
the match, it became a tag.
because they threw out the match when the system got involved in the match.
And then here we go, yippee yo, we're gonna bring Aaron Emholt in, and now he's D'Lo's tag team partner.
Yeah.
And he was the legal man. Obviously, he made the cover, so by that
Yeah.
right, the system had to be the legal man on the other side. Otherwise, they just totally made the referee look like a hunk of shit. If
Yeah.
Danny Duggan and D'Lo were the legal men, but Aaron Emholt made the pin on the system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That means the referee's not paying attention to who the legal man is. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes
Some of those people, some of these like these matches, they're basically not paid well.
Oh, I know, brother. I worked in the South before too, so I know that. That's why
This
when
is
I worked
Minnesota.
in the South, they begged me to come down because I'm obviously a Northerner, so people aren't held to the standard in the South that they are up north. Wrestling
Hey,
fans that watch
Rod,
wrestling up. Can you hear me? I don't know. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So-
I can hear you.
So wrestling fans in the North. Well, check and wait. Wrestling fans in the North are way more stiff than wrestling fans in the South. Wrestling fans in the South will pop for anything at all. They just love wrestling. Wrestling fans in the North love to pick everything apart, and they want people to make mistakes. They want to be able to give the "you effed up" chant. Does that make sense? That's the difference. So working in the South is so much fun. It's so much easier. So like what you were saying, whereas it doesn't even matter who the legal man is, as long as the people are happy, right?
Yeah.
That's wrestling in the South. Now, what was chat saying?
Bobby, I went scorched earth and I did apologize to Bobby, but I think it'd be better for him not to work on the show anymore.
Well, let's
But
discuss why. Let's be men and let's discuss why.
because
Let's
I
not leave
don't,
it vague.
I want to be his friend. But I don't want to be. I don't want to work on the show, and then every few months we get into these tussles. I would rather take him off the show.
And stay in contact with him personally and remain friends.
Yeah.
But the working relationship is sometimes y'all don't see eye to eye, and every once in a while you're guaranteed that there's going to be a breakdown and then a get back and then a breakdown
Yeah.
and get back, and you're just sick of it. It's like that girlfriend that just won't leave you alone, and you already know she's going to fight. She may not fight you today or tomorrow, but certainly by Friday y'all are going to have a knockdown, drag out, and then you're going to have nowhere to stay, and then you're going to go pick up some other girl and go spend the night with her. And I know all about it. I've been there, done that. I actually had a lot of fun. I know this is off topic and this is something you probably wouldn't condone of, but for the entire month of December 2017, I stayed at a different girl's house every single night. And I had no idea. I didn't plan it. It was never planned. It all just fell into my lap night after night after night. I never knew where I was going to end up, how. I mean, I was in different states. I was in upstate New York. I was in Connecticut. I was in Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Just killing it, man. Just killing it. So much fun. But I knew it had to come to an end. So it certainly did. At the end of December 2017, that's when I went to jail. And I spent the first 3 months of 2018 in jail. January, February, and March. But I still kept my Twitch sub up to Bubba because that was most important. So I contacted my mother and I made sure that that sub was paid every month. So that I ended up getting my sub all the way up to 72 months until I got banned. And once you're banned, you can't resub. So that's it. I mean, 72 months down the drain for nothing. Just because people hate me.
Yeah, the thing is, by the way, did you like what I said? For $50, people could pay to have you get you off the air.
Yeah, why not? Bring it in. Hey, even if it adds up, even if they make a deal where each 5 people give 10, it's still $50 in the Cash App. Get me out of here.
Oh. Yeah, I also want to say that number one, people who are a lot of people that are going to watch this live or not live, people are going to say, "Oh, why is Holyoke Joe Holyoke Joe has done more?" Here's the thing. Let's play a little bit of a game. This is because you worked with so many people in the independent stuff. Plus, you also worked in professional or unprofessional. These are people that you either have to say professional or unprofessional. I'll say a name. It's like the dick bag or the hoe bag on like the U shoots. You hear me?
I can hear you. I'm ready. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say next. I'm hanging on your every word.
All right, number one. Have you one? We talked about him before. Miracle Mike Bennett.
Yeah, of course. I would, because I was the top referee, so I get to pick which matches I worked. I would always make sure that I was on Mike Bennett's match.
Professional.
Always.
Professional.
Top notch professional.
Professional. All right. Matt Taven.
Again, I would always pick to work his matches because he had the hottest matches, but sometimes we didn't see eye to eye because he was hot shit. He was really attractive and he was really good in the ring. So sometimes we didn't always see eye to eye. I had more tenure. I had more a belief system in professional wrestling. He just wanted to be flashy and do great things, and he was over. But sometimes we didn't see eye to eye. Let's just be honest.
All right. Blitz K.
What about him?
Professional or unprofessional?
Oh my God, so unprofessional. He did the worst thing anybody could have ever done to me. Let me tell you what he did. I had my Bubba Army ring, and it sat on his desk for a full year before Bubba had to take it, and Bubba had to send it to me himself because Blitz was supposed to do it. I didn't have contact for Blitz, but I stayed in contact with Lummy. And I would ask Lummy at least once a week, "Hey, can you ask Blitz about my ring?" And Lummy'd say, I'm going to ask him. And then one day I was watching the show, and during hot mic, Blitz held up my ring from his desk on the camera and said, "See that, Joe? There's your ring." And then he put it right back down. And he knew how much I was asking. And he left it there for a full year before finally I brought it up to Bubba on the show. And Bubba's like, "Yeah, we're going to get you your ring." So I ended up getting that year's ring and the next year's ring within a week of each other because he held back my ring for a full fucking year, dude.
Year.
A full year.
All right. Lumix.
Hey, used to be great friends with Lumix. He got mad at me over a comment that I made on Instagram. One comment that I thought was funny. You know, that's the funny thing about entertainment, and the funny thing about spoken word is that one comment on one day could be funny, but on a different day, the same comment could be taken wrong and be used against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the same comment that I would have made that would have been funny today on Bubba's show. Wow, that would have been hilarious. Maybe Bubba's in a bad mood on Wednesday and the comment comes out and now it's, "You're done." You know what I mean? Like, that's comedy.
Yeah.
So you take the risk, you run the risk of what you say. I just always speak the truth.
Uh,
And if I speak the truth, it's not going to get me in any trouble. Lumix is the executive producer now, so I ain't going to say a bad word about him. Before he was the executive producer, I might have had something else to say.
all right.
Next.
Seth Kush.
Garbage. Straight garbage. Absolute garbage.
I've had, and by the way, I would actually say that Blitz hates everybody. Let me tell you this. For a long time when I was calling in, Blitz was the one that was like saying, because I've had premieres running, I wasn't doing any lives. I was having premieres running to get some videos out for people. And I told Bubba I was going and taking a week off from lives. And Bubba and then Blitz had to jump in and talk about, "Oh, I saw you had a couple lives on your channel, so you're lying to people." No, I was having those premieres out. Those are not lives. There was premieres that I did to try to get some content out there for people.
Right. A
said I
premiere
wasn't
is an old piece of content with a live chat running with it. So
Yeah.
it looks like it's new stuff, but it's really just old content.
Yeah.
That's a
So
premiere.
what I want to ask this question is, do you think that, one of my problems is now it's like, Dr. Dan Diaco, a lot of those guys are very knowledgeable about stuff. When you talk about it, they, but what do you think about, have you ever watched Manson's show lately?
No, I could never watch Cluster F. I would never watch it because his son and his wife are there. I would never.
Yeah.
I couldn't take 1 second to watch that crap.
Do you know that Manson wasn't allowed to be around the naked females?
Oh, of course. And we all know that Manson had to leave the studio before the girls came in, but the humor and the funniness came when Ned had to make an excuse too. Because Manson's going to leave the studio, so there's nobody there to do the Ned voice, but Ned had to come up with an excuse why he had to leave the studio as well, right?
Yeah.
So now you're not just coming out. Now it's not just Manson's leaving, but now where's Ned? I don't know. We can't find Ned. Oh, he must be out back doing this and that, right? So that was another element of humor that I just thought was hilarious. Why every time Manson leaves the studio, Ned's not there? Or like Manson takes the day off, Ned takes the day off. And I still bought into it because I wanted to believe in the Ned character. But I do want to dip back to Seth Kushner really fast because when he was first around the Bubba show, he rubbed me the wrong way and I didn't really like him. And it was because of his situation. Sometimes we don't like people because the way they act or the way they talk or the way they think. But a lot of that has something to do with maybe something they're going through. So I'm like, oh man, I don't like he's a whiny bitch, or I don't like this. Maybe he doesn't want to be a whiny bitch. Maybe something just sucks. And maybe just medication has him talking some type of way or feeling some type of way. It happens to everybody. So you got to just kind of like lay back and be cool. And that's what I try to do. But then he really took on this approach that I hated him. And then he quit and he was gone. And everything was good once he was gone. Now he's coming back, right? He messaged me. He messaged me out of the blue, but I didn't message him. he messaged me and he said, "Hey man, I'm back. I just want to let you know that I think because I had made some comments in Twitter and it wasn't negative, it was all positive." And he says, "Hey man, I know I'm back, and I just hope that everything's cool. I know you didn't like me the first time around, but I hope we can be cool this time around." And we were really cool. We even did card business. He sold me some wrestling trading cards, and we did card business. And then he was going to devise this wrestling podcast that he's doing now with Gary Cantrell that comes out on Saturdays on Bubba's Podcast Network. And I asked him, "Hey man, if you need any help with that, I'm more than willing to help. I have more than enough experience. Nobody has the experience that I have. I don't care. Yeah, they're wrestlers, been all over the world and done a lot of things, but nobody's done the things that I've done. Like, who else is posed down with Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels in the ring? John Cena. I mean, yeah, okay, John Cena, Batista, and I did it, but Shawn Michaels wasn't in the ring that night. So how many other wrestlers posed down with Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels in the ring? You know what I'm saying? The Undertaker didn't do it. There's if we just look at that, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels in the ring, just that. Who else shared the ring with them? It was me. You know what I mean? And that's tremendous. And I'm not bragging on myself, but I am saying that I do have something to offer. And a whole lot more than that. Obviously, I'm not just a one-trick pony. I have 20 plus years. Plus, I haven't watched wrestling for 40 years. So you think I might know something, right? Well, the first podcast he threw together was in a rush. Seth messaged me again and said, "Hey, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry about that. We're going to get this thing pinned down and we're going to get you in." And the next one, 2, 3 came still. I wasn't involved. And then finally, somebody asked in chat for Seth to ask, and Seth asked Bubba, and Bubba's like, "Nope, no way. We don't want him." And that was it. So then
but the thing is,
just let me finish by saying that Seth blocked me. He blocked me on Messenger. He blocked me on Instagram after all that. So I didn't do anything.
The thing is, it's like, but the thing is, it's like I've never, I've always said that I was a big Bubba fan. I was one of the first people to do I was one of the parody guys back in the day that was sending in parodies. I've sent songs to them. I've made content with them.
That's great. You have the means to do it. I don't know. You must have. What's your secret? Do you have a computer? Or
I have a laptop I use Sound Recorder for a lot of the stuff I do, but I also use a thing called right now I'm not using it because I would rather go back to what I'm doing with my music and do it a cappella and stuff. But I use Sound Recorder and then I send it over to them to get it done.
I'm on the phone right now. So the doctor just wanted to come in and talk to me. I don't care. She can eat me. I got better things to do. So what were you saying?
I just want to say that number one is I want to put out I don't want people to think that I'm a Howard Stern. I'm trying to get on. I was on Bubba's Love Sponge. I was on all these other shows. I've been on Bubba. I've been on Stuttering John's podcast. I was on radio a lot. But one of the things that made me so mad about Bubba's and stuff is, having to rewatch when back in the day when Laster left,
right?
And people were bringing up and people on the Twitch feed bringing up the fact that he had that MJ had to do the same stuff that Bubba's doing now. That mornings and doing afternoons for show channels. MJ, the guy that they had a lawsuit about.
Kelly. MJ Kelly. I know all about him. He's got pubic hair on top of his head. Remember? Bubba went through the whole lawsuit with him for name calling his wife.
Yeah.
I'll sue. Remember when Manson used to do the MJ songs, impersonations?
Yeah. And I also remember Manson actually has a song about Polk County Sheriff.
Grady Judd?
Yeah. He's still a sheriff now.
Dude, I'm jealous. They sold Grady Judd bobbleheads, but you had to go
Yeah.
to the station to pick them up, and they were only $20. But they wouldn't mail them. You had to be down in Florida, and you had to go and pick them up personally, man. Oh, so I would never have the opportunity to own one. I just gotta talk. I can still hear you. I'm just gonna toss this lemon. I'm just making my tea right now. So go ahead, talk. I can talk too. I'm just making my tea, Jake. I can't let the water get cold. Tea time. You drink tea, Jake?
Oh,
Do you drink tea? Do you drink coffee or tea or what? What do you like?
oh, you got 266 subscribers.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, even though I have 200 and whatever subscribers on the tubes, I still can't go live. And I know you only need 50 to go live, but I press the go live
Yeah.
button and it says you need 50 subscribers to go live. So I can't make any sense of it. I did the things I'm supposed to do. You know, once you reach that, you're supposed to go over to that level and go over. And I think you're supposed to do the thing with your head, you know, where you put your face to verify your face in your head. So that way, when you come out on streams or whatever, they know who you are, you BO. Or I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I did it. I did all the things, and I still can't go live on the tubes, baby. I want to get crazy on YouTube. I want to say the things I can't say on Twitch. It's like they're all holed up inside me. I'm just dying to use bad words.
Yeah, but also you can't say a lot of the words you want to say.
Because I hear other people on YouTube using words that I want to use that I can't use on Twitch. And they get away with it on YouTube. So that makes me think maybe I could get away with it on YouTube. I mean, life's not all about saying bad words, but, you know, I was just telling you how I'm loose and I'm honest. I don't think before I speak, I just talk. And it's hard for me to restrict myself when I just want to talk and be open and think about, oh, I'm not allowed to say this word, or, oh, if I say this, it's going to offend the wrong person. And then, dude, that sucks. I want to be free and clear to say whatever I want, whenever I want, about whoever I want. And I'm willing to accept the comeback. If there's flack from it, I'm willing to take it. But don't stop me from saying it. At least give me the opportunity to say it, right? If I do something dumb, like we were talking about last time we talked, and we used the wrong word and we got suspended for 7 days, we deserved it. I used the word knowing full well. I used the word on purpose. I used that word when I used it to expose the person that was in my chat. I knew that they would report me, and I wanted to see how far they'd be willing to take it. And they took me to the 7-day suspension. So now I know who I can and can't trust. I had to pay the price, but I learned a lesson. Does that make sense? I'm making my tea right now. I'm pouring my hot water over my tea bags.
Hold on, I'm doing something right now.
This water out here gets cold fast. The water they bring you on your lunch tray, it gets cold really fast. But they brought me up a whole bowl of fresh sliced lemons to put in my tea as well. I just started doing that. I never put lemons in my tea before. The reason I have to drink tea in here because the coffee is undrinkable. The coffee in this place is worse than if you took dirt from the ground and put it in a coffee machine and pour water through it.
I also want to say thank you to so many people that have been just want to say thank you.
I filled it up too much. I want to say thank you to everybody too. While you're thanking them, I'll thank them as well.
Yeah.
I want to thank your do you have any like advertisers? Do you have anybody like the soap gimmick or the other thing?
Right now I don't want to bring it up due to the fact that I have to like
No, I'm just asking if you have advertisers. Yes or no. I'm not asking you to advertise nothing.
I have a few people that I do reads for.
Cool. That's all.
But,
yes,
but right now I don't want to like read. We're fixing to leave. So fixing to want to say thank you to anyone that has been trying to. I want to say this. Number one, we're talking about it. We live it every day. There's so many people that say, "Oh, why is this guy fucking talking?" or "This is not a good thing." We are talking about it because it gets brought up that a lot of these guys, like a lot of these guys that talk wrestling, they don't know wrestling. They're sitting there just reading articles and stuff about wrestling.
Yeah, you know what's funny about me? I refuse to read the backstage stuff. You know, you get the reports on the internet and spoilers, this, that. I won't read it. I refuse to read it. I don't want to know. I want to watch what happens on TV, and that's what matters. Because you could talk about everything that's gonna happen until you're blue in the face, but what really matters is what comes out on the televised product. You can say so and so is gonna debut, but if they don't show up, then you look like an idiot. I'm gonna judge
Yeah.
what I see on TV and what I see on TV alone, and that's it. I don't care who's dating who. I don't care who's fucking who. I don't give a shit about none of that. All I care about is what they put out on TV and how it's produced and the camera angles. Like WWF just started to use this new camera angle. It's really dope.
Yeah.
They come from the floor section more towards the back, and they come through the crowd, focused on the ring, and they bring you through the crowd and then around that little rubber thing that, you know, the inner barrier around
Yeah.
that, and then they aim the camera through the bottom of the second rope and they keep it there. And they do it, and the producer does not switch camera angles at all. So it's one steady shot all the way from out in the crowd all the way right up to the ring. And it's kind of like a far shot from the ring. It's not a close up at all. It's really dope. They've done it a few times over the past couple shows. Keep your eye out for that because I really like it. I mean, they're trying to make things. They're trying to try so many different things right now in WWF just to say that we're doing something different. So
Yeah.
they've reinvigorated even the entire ringside area, even the mats that they used to put out, and the posts, and everything is gimmicked. Everything is gimmicked. The chairs are gimmicked. The aluminum trash cans are gimmicked. Things used to be just in ECW when you hit somebody with a chair, you bent the chair over their head and it hurt. Now the chairs are so gimmicked that they just fold up. You know what I mean? They just when they do the gimmick where you put 4 chairs together and you power bomb somebody through it, they're cut. They're pre-cut, so the chair part just folds down. You know, it's all everything's gimmicked, and you can't blame them for gimmicking it. I mean, what do you think makes more sense? Going full on and taking a stiff chair shot, or taking a shot from one that's gimmicked so that it makes noise and doesn't hurt as much? Like I'm going with the easy route. I'm here to protect myself and have a long career. You know. Same thing with the Singapore cane. When you buy the cane, you buy a bamboo cane from like a karate gimmick. It's all strung up so tight. So if you hurt somebody, you're going to hurt them very much. If you cut those strings off of the Singapore cane, it's loose. And you can go whack and hit somebody with it, and they don't even really feel nothing, but it sounds like a bomb went off. So
Yeah.
little things, little tricks here and there.
Yeah, but I want to also bring up the thing that people who are in the wrestling business who are not knowing, what do you think about Vince Russo?
What do I think about him?
Yeah.
I think he says bro way too much. But aside from that, he's got something to say. See, in the wrestling business, everybody has something to offer. I don't care who you are. I heard you say you want to do something in the ring. There's nothing stopping you. There's a spot for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm the master of doing that when I run my wrestling shows. I'm the master of all I need is bodies. That's what I call it. Give me a warm body and I'll find something to do. I will work that body. I will do something with it. You know, I've had to work with people that have no talent, that have no wrestling ability whatsoever, have no physical ability whatsoever, and still drag something entertaining out of them. And ironically enough, when I worked with that person I'm talking about, I have one person in mind specifically. When I worked with this person who's absolutely useless in life, let alone the ring, I made the best situation of the night. People were telling me after the show, "Oh man, what you did there, Joe, that was the best idea ever. That was incredible. Oh my God." They couldn't believe how I could take nothing and create something just by simplifying. If I left this person to go out and do their own thing, it would have sucked and nobody would have cared. But I said, listen to me. Here's exactly what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do in the beginning. This is what we're going to do next. And then here's what we're going to do last. And all this person had to do was just do that. And it worked to a T. It was the hottest thing of the night. You won't believe what I did. Let me brag on myself. I'm going to take 30 seconds to brag on myself. So I was told I'm booking this show, right? So I have 9 matches. I was told that I have to get 9 matches in an hour and a half. The show starts at 8. It needs to be done by 9:30. How strict of a show do I have to run if I'm going to get 9 matches in an hour and a half, right? Now, if you know anything about independent wrestling, they always run late. They always start late, so they always run late. Intermission is 30 minutes. The crowd is dead. They come back. They're worn out. They've seen enough. Dude, I ran an hour and a half straight, 9 matches. Started at 8 o'clock on the dot, ended at 9:30 on the dot. And I ended with a cliffhanger that was a total shoot. Total shoot. I shot it at the end. I called it. It was something simple. The good guy had just won, and he was making his way towards the apron. Not the apron, the curtain. And I ran back into the curtain real quick, and I wanted to set up the story for the next show. So I said, "Hey, come over here." As the good guy comes to come through the curtain, punch him in his face. And he said, "What do you mean? He knows?" I'm like, "I'm going to tell him." So I came back out through the curtain. I'm like, "Hey, come on, yippee-yo." I raised the guy's hand up. I said, "Hey, he's going to punch you in the face when you go back through the curtain." So he turns, starts going back through the curtain. Now, the people saw the fist come out. They saw him get punched. They saw him drop. But nobody now, the big question is, who punched Chigi Sosa? Because that was the wrestler's name. Who punched him? And we're going to find out at the next show? Are we going to find out the show after that? Are we going to have a match at the next show? Like, so much mystery. And that's how we ended. That was our climax. So babyface over, everybody goes happy. Wait a minute, last minute question, what the F? It wasn't me because I was outside. I was outside of the curtain. I was with him. So it wasn't me that punched him in the face. But ironically enough, I had the guy that I wanted, the next storyline to go with. He just happened to be right there on the other side of the curtain. So I said, "Hey, come here real quick, punch him in the face." Just like that. It was an idea that just popped into my head like that. Because I'm the booker, people have to listen because they work for me, so they got to do what they're asked to do. That's all. Love wrestling.
You know, I'm always going to tell people this. Wrestling, you know, you can actually go to a company and say, "Hey, I can actually call some of these companies out here and say, hey, I would love," and I could tell them my credentials, and they'll work with me.
Well, especially when you tell them on the platforms you have. Like,
Yeah.
I have a YouTube stream that I stream daily, that I have this many viewers, and people support me, yippee-yo, and I have this many subscribers and all that, and I can promote your show, and you can help me promote me, and everybody wins. And you can even sling merch. That's why it's good to have merch, because there's no better place to sling merch. People come with money in their pockets when they come to wrestling, and they're just looking for a place to put it. So I help them find a place to put it, and I always take every fan's money. Every time I had a show, I made sure that I had their money, and they didn't by the time they left.
Yeah. The thing is I've also heard Matt Caradona said that he doesn't carry shirts anymore. He would rather need to have an online thing.
Okay, that's cool. That takes away a little bit of the fun. Like, for example, you remember in ECW, remember BWO?
Yeah.
Remember how hot the BWO shirts were? Because it was like so niche. Because it was like, okay, we all have NWO shirts, but how many people really have BWO shirts, right? Yeah. Well, I work for ECW. So I seen Stevie Richards with this insider shirt. Remember the outsider shirt with Hall and Nash? He had this shirt that said Insiders. And it was a picture of him and Blue Meanie on it, like Hall and Nash. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how the hell? He gave me the shirt out of his bag. And I have it. And it's not like you could buy it. We didn't carry it at the merchandise table in ECW. He wasn't selling them on his own. So it's just such a cool, I can't believe he gave it to me, man. Just imagine, like, because remember how hot wrestling was in the 97? Remember the Attitude Era? Remember the Monday Night Wars?
Yeah.
Remember Hall and Nash when they came to WCW? They were so cool, and NWO was so cool. Be real,
Yeah.
you were there. How old were you? Like 13? I don't know how old you were.
In the 90s, I was like 3. I was like,
So you didn't
I
get to
was-
experience the Attitude Era at its finest.
I watched a little bit of WCW. I remember Bash at the Beach when they were at the beach. And they had the water around the ring.
That was beautiful, dude. That was such a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
One of the things that I would like to bring up is like, so the problem is now it's like everybody and their brother think they're wrestlers. They buy a ring, or they buy like these plastic championship belts. You buy them at Walmart and stuff. But now it's like you also need training. You need to go to wrestling school. You need to go to EPW wrestling school. You need to go to Wildcat wrestling school in New Orleans. You need to go to Memphis wrestling school in Memphis. You need to go and get some real training, because a lot of this is something that I heard that Jerry Jarrett.
Yep. He's dead now.
Someone went up to Jerry Jarrett and said, "I work in the business. You might work in the business, but you don't work in my business." The person was trying to get booked on a match, and
What do you think if you were a booker? What do you think the first thing you would say to somebody if they came up to you and offered their services? What would be the
I
first
would say,
question you'd ask?
What's your training?
How did I know you know? Where did you train at? Who'd you train with? How many matches have you had? Where have you worked? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this
Where
day
did
and age,
you?
listen. In this day and age, we can pull out our phones and I can show the booker, look, this is me and this is where I worked. And this is in my day, we didn't have that luxury. I couldn't pull out a VCR and a TV and put my videotape in and say, look, this is my matches, right? So look at how much things have changed. Now, when I was working, we didn't have like Facebook and Insta to connect with bookers and promoters and get work. We needed to network. We needed to do it old school. You needed to show up early, set up the ring, offer your services, always bring your gear. This is all stuff that's lost. When I first started training in wrestling, it was July 10th of 97. I turned 18. I trained until April 23rd of 98. So that just goes to show you almost a full year. Nowadays, guys train for 3 months and they're already getting matches.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a big secret, and that's not really a secret. All the stuff you're seeing is not wrestlers. You're watching men copy wrestlers. When you watch AEW, you're not watching wrestlers wrestle. You're watching Orange Cassidy cosplaying as a wrestler, wrestling Trent Beretta, who used to be a wrestler, but now he's cosplaying as a wrestler. So it just sucks, man, on a lot of aspects, on a lot of things. Just, okay, I watched Raw. I saw them do this. So now I'm going to go on my weekend independent show and I'm going to do the same thing. You're not trained. You didn't do it. And that's why people get hurt and people do get killed. I was on a show where a kid got killed. The kid, he was 18 years old. He did a moonsault off the top rope, over-rotated, fell back on his heels. His back of his head smacked off the gymnasium floor, and he bled out right in front of all the fans. Yep. That was in Connecticut. So, and he was properly trained, and he was the nicest kid, but accidents happen. So when you put your body on the line like we do, or I did, you know, people just say, you know, that's why when it's one thing for you haven't taken 2 million bumps and you know what I mean. You
I actually a little sorry if I'm.
You might have done something, but you didn't take 2 million. Let's be honest.
Hey, also the one thing that you know, and also this is something I used to, you know, I've taken. I'm not like want to like. I think that I'd be better as a manager, or
yeah, of course.
talking.
But guess what? I'm gonna let you in on something. If a manager comes to my wrestling school to train as a manager, guess how they get trained?
The same way as the wrestlers.
Exactly. You're going to learn the same bumps. You're going to learn the same psychology. You're going to learn the same everything, and then you can develop your character as a manager. But everybody everybody learns. You got to learn how to first take your bumps. That's more
Yeah.
important than anything.
Because managers
inevitably
does
what?
take bumps too.
Managers take bumps. That's what people want to see. That's the whole point of having a manager. They want to see that guy get his face punched.
His ass kicked.
But on the same token, when you have a manager, when you have a good manager can come over when the referee's not looking, get one cheap shot in, and then turn around like a chicken shit, face the crowd and say, I didn't do nothing, and the referee turns around and the crowd goes crazy. Then you got somebody like John Cena Sr., who's a hog for attention. So he'll grab a headlock and he'll hit the guy 30,000 times until the referee turns around and catches him, and then makes an ass out of the referee, because now why isn't the referee swallowing him? Well, that's not the finish. Oh, okay. Well, now do it again. Well, I'm sorry. I disqualified John Cena Sr. for doing the same thing I was just talking about, because I gave him ample time to cheat behind my back, and he wouldn't stop punching the opponent. So it wasn't the finish, but I disqualified him. I said, that's it. Thinking back, I should have just kicked him out. Thinking back, in all fairness, but when I caught him the first time, I said, if you do this again, I'm going to disqualify this match and it'll be over. And he did it again, and he stayed doing it right in front of me, even though he knew I turned around.
Yeah.
So he wasn't happy. When I came into the back, he says, I'm not happy, but you did the right thing. And that's what you got to do sometimes, even though wrestling is what? Fake, like people say. That's why it sucks so much. People say it's fake, because they're degrading all the contribution that I put in with my body and the things that I never wanted to do, like taking the bump off the top rope, taking a front flip bump off the top rope. You know how Flair used to do? Remember he'd take a buckle, front flip over, run up the other side and run up the top, and then get thrown from the top? That bump sucks, brother. Taking that bump from the top sucks. It jars you. It's like you get thrown from the top, you end up in the middle of the ring, and you land flat on your back. Like, that sucks. And then some asshole is going to come up and say, oh, that stuff? Oh, you mean that fake shit? That's when you know you can't. There's no reason to even argue. There's so many people. Look, there's a couple different kinds of people involved in wrestling. Well, you have the people that aren't involved that think it's fake. They're just ignorant. You can't argue with them. But then you have your fucking know-it-alls. Now, I'm a know-it-all, and I have every right to be a know-it-all because I lived it. I did it. People that, there's a know-it-all. I won't use his name, but there's a know-it-all that does a wrestling podcast right now, and he knows nothing.
Kevin Spincoli?
Are you talking about Louis Spicolli?
No, Kevin Spincoli from the Whole Effing Show podcast.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about him. I don't know any wrestlers.
Thank God you're not talking. Thank God you won't talk. That guy's an idiot.
Oh, he's an idiot?
Yeah. He on last week on one of his shows, he put April's name in the title of one of his shows on Rumble. God, he's an idiot.
That guy's a jobber. If you got to use somebody else's name in a title of your show, you're a jobber.
Was it Joe Cronin? Dan Cronin? Joe Cronin?
Is that another podcaster?
Yes, Joe Cronin.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something, okay? I'm sure you've heard of that one wrestling podcast they do on Sirius, Busted Open, right? With Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer or whoever else they put on there. You know, Dave LaGreca, is he on there?
Yes, that Mark is still there too.
All right, so that's a big time wrestling podcast. And sometimes clips come out and I'll watch them and I'm entertained by it. And I agree by a lot of the things that Bully Ray says, but I don't listen to that podcast. So if I don't listen to that, why am I going to listen to 83 Weeks? Or why am I going to, yes, I love Jim Cornette and I'm overwhelmed by his entertainment and his wisdom. So I can put it on, but I can't. It's too overwhelming. That's why I can't watch Dark Side of the Ring. I've never watched one single episode of Dark Side of the Ring because it covers too many topics that I already knew. Things that I lived through, things like the whole Scott Hall thing. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I was doing a show in outside of Rhode Island on the other side of Massachusetts, Fall River, and Scott Hall was on our show. And there was a huge sign on a banner that said, New England's #1 top promotion. He read that sign and he thought he was in England. He thought he was in the UK. So the video is there. If you look up Scott Hall Top Rope Promotions on YouTube, you can see where I have to actually physically come down to the ring and remove Scott Hall. I had to make the decision. I wasn't the promoter. The promoter wasn't available. and there was nobody else I could ask. I was dressed as a referee, so I felt as an official, it was my duty to save the show and save his whatever you call it. Let's say I don't even know the word I'm looking at, but just get Scott Hall the hell out of the ring. He was so out of his mind. He was slurring his words. He was just so I just came down and I just nicely took him out. I had to actually lift his leg up for him, put it over the second, squeeze his head down under the top, and then walk him down the stairs. And then to get back up to the stage, he would have to go up more stairs. I just opened up the barricade and took him out through the side. Just on the spot decision making. And it all went as well as it could based on the fact that he should have never even been in the ring in the state that he was in. But nobody knew better, and they let him out there. So once he's out there, what do? Everything in front of the crowd is now visible. We live it. One take. You can't retake. Scott, we'll wait till you're sober. We go back out to the ring. But whatever. That's just the story for another day. But all this stuff that I lived is all on YouTube. There's videos of it. There's video evidence of all the wonderful things I did. Who's that?
This is Joe Cronin.
Oh my God. He needs a meal. He needs a cheeseburger.
He says you mentioned Top Rope Promotions, and he said he worked for Top Rope Promotions.
Oh yeah? What year?
I think I don't remember what year he said he worked.
Because that's where I had my first match in 1998 in the Fall River PAL, and it was on April 23rd, and it was for Yankee Pro Wrestling. It was run by Joe Eugenio, and then Joe Eugenio, he ran his course and he got out, and then Steve Ricard took over, and then Steve Ricard ran Top Rope Promotions. He did a lot of ring rentals, which was cool because when I did ring rentals with him, it got me opportunities to work at other companies that I wouldn't have had the opportunities to work at otherwise. So like big companies working with big names, all because I'm on the ring crew and I did the ring rental. And because we did the ring rental, that means we get to work. So like there's a company called Dragon Pro Wrestling. Have you ever heard of Dragon Pro?
Dragon Pro in Massachusetts?
Well, Dragon Pro was worldwide, but the show I worked on was in Massachusetts. And basically Dragon Pro was run by Gabe Sapolsky, who ran Ring of Honor. And basically, he had all the phenomenal Japanese guys on it.
Oh,
so
you
that's
mean
where
New Wave wrestling now?
No. I would never talk about New Wave. Dragon Gate Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Here, Dragon Gate. Here's the
Yeah.
You said Dragon Pro.
No, when you look up Dragon Gate Pro Wrestling, you will see that they were using Pac before he was Neville signed by WWF and who he is now. When he first came out and he was first
Dragon Pro, so I was looking at the wrong thing.
Dragon Gate, dude, this was next level. This was like Japanese wrestling in America, and then I think some of the guys got to go over there, but we did the ring rental, so I got to work the show. I got to work with all these guys. I got to be in the back and see all these guys without their masks and stuff. Like that's unreal.
Yeah,
that's why certain things, it's like it took away the fun when you see the guys without their masks. Did you look at it? Did you check it out?
I'm looking at it right now.
I don't think they're in business anymore, are they?
They're in there's Dragon Gate USA 2000 closed in 2015.
Yeah, I believe it.
And purchased by WWE in 2020.
Oh my God. Wow, that's awesome. I bet you they turned that into that thing they got. I don't know what the name of the company is because I'm ignorant and I don't care about certain things as it pertains to this. But there's a company where WWF's getting their talent from, and they actually let Evolve. So Dragon Gate became Evolve. That's what it is. And that's where WWF's taking a lot of their talent from. Guys that are coming from Evolve, they're bringing them up to NXT and then making their way up to TV.
Yeah, I just want to say that we've been live for an hour and some change, and we're gonna end.
Hell yeah, dude! I did 36 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
36 hours of straight streaming. You know that it stops. It stops counting after a day and 8 hours.
Yeah.
It does. And Twitch stops. I mean, I stayed on. It didn't stop me, but it stopped counting. It sent me my stream summary, and it said 1 day, 8 hours. This is what you got. And I had some good numbers too. Pretty impressive. But if anything, I want to drive as many. You were checking out my YouTube page before and telling me how many subscribers I got. It's Joe Lupien, Joe Lupien. It's the Purple J. It's so much fun.
I know.
The shorts
I
that
know.
I'm doing, I think that's groundbreaking, hilarious stuff. Just the unboxing of the Bubbles merch and the filling my face with all the different wonderful things offered out here in Boston. Like, I just think it's money material, and just nobody knows about it. So the more people know about it, the more we can grow it.
All right. Guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope anybody that enjoys the stream, like the stream, share the stream. I might be back on later. I don't know, but until I might come back and do an unboxing because I might have a package coming up.
Oh, me too. I'm trying to get a package today. It's gonna be a good one if it comes.
Yeah, and I also want to say thank you to, this was about an hour and a half of stuff that we want to talk about. But I want to also bring up the fact that we talked a lot about, before we leave, I want to say something, a little known fact. In professional wrestling, there's winners and there's losers. But, also I got to get your opinion on something. What do you think about Herb Abrams and UWF, the Universal Wrestling Federation?
Did you say Herb Abrams?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
The guy's an idiot.
Is he a worker or is he a booker?
He was an owner. He was the owner.
Yeah, okay. Now I know. I was thinking Herb Abrams is a wrestler. I'm like, I don't know Herb Abrams as a booker.
He had on his show he had Dr. Death Steve Williams, Bruno Sammartino, David Sammartino, Killer Bees Brian Blair. He had
Jumping Jim Brunzell, Ted DiBiase.
I don't think so. I don't know about this.
Oh yeah,
he had a lot of the wrestlers. He also
Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there.
He had Cowboy. He had Cowboy Bob Orton.
Yeah, he had a lot of WWF guys when WWF was running, which was weird, wasn't that?
Yeah.
Like even Junkyard Dog came through there. Yeah. Everybody came through UWF.
Also, ATG was there. Andre.
All gimmicked up.
He did a few appearances for the show, and then he went back to WWE.
Who is it?
Andre
JTG?
the Giant.
Andre.
Well, yeah.
I thought you said JTG, like the guy from Crime Time.
No, Andre. Hey,
JTG, I never.
JTG is the young boy. He wasn't around in the 80s. He wasn't around in the 80s.
Oh, I know. That's why that's his jokes, cuz. I never liked Andre the Giant, though. I never liked my Andre the Giant action figure I had when I was a kid, and I never liked Andre the Giant, the character. He didn't do anything. I like wrestling because I like to see moves. I like to see action. He was just roar, boom, one big shot, one big slam. No, that's boring.
No, some dude. The changes is I lost a bunch of stuff due to the fact Jib got a little bit pissy at me. I don't have my cool intro anymore. I have this again. I used to have a good intro. Now it's like,
dude, I said it in chat. That intro today was awesome. Awesome. Yeah. The visuals, the sound, I felt like I was on mushrooms. It was so awesome. Loved it. Now you need to work on an outro. Now that you got a cool intro, you need to maybe hit a little music and play us out so we don't dry and just dead. You know what I mean? A little mellow music to play us out. You know what I think of when I hear to play us out? Do you remember Bill O'Reilly? Were you old enough to remember that? Or is that?
No.
Remember?
I don't remember a lot of stuff.
That's okay. Bill O'Reilly was ending his show, and on the paper for what he was supposed to read. He said, to play us out, we're going to have Sting. And Sting was they were going to play a Sting song, not Sting the wrestler, Sting the musician. And he goes, to play us out, what does that mean? What does that mean to play us out? And they're like, yeah, the director's trying to tell him what to do. He goes, fuck it, we'll do it live. And then it came out live. It was off camera content. You ever heard about fuck it, we'll do it live?
Yeah, I one of the shows that I worked on, the name of it was "We'll Do It." Shit, fuck, we'll do it live.
So now you knew where it came from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think we're about 10 years apart, so I may have experienced 10 years more of things than you. So I don't know what you saw when you were growing up. Like, you blew me away when you said you were 3 during the Attitude Era. That means you didn't get to enjoy the Monday Night Wars, dude.
3 or 4. Was born in 93. I was born in 93.
But I'm sure you watched that stuff back at some point. Like, at what age did you get into wrestling?
Like 2000s.
So you're about 7?
I remember when Kane jumper cabled Shane's nuts.
Oh my God, yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's cool. And then I'm sure you backtracked and saw some stuff. There's always history. I'm sure you had the WWF network and you were able to go on there and see cool stuff that you may have seen. There's always something. Man, thank God for the internet. Especially you were talking about something before. You mentioned wrestling. And I just want to mention something about wrestling and how important wrestling is. Because we've had family members come and go. We've had friends come and go. We've had friends that we thought would be our friends to the end, and they left us flat, stabbed us in the back. But guess what? Even pets come and go. Through all this, wrestling is the one thing that's always been there no matter what. I may have nothing else right now in my life, but I have wrestling. I know tonight when I turn on my television at 8 o'clock, wrestling is going to be on. And it's going to be on until 11 o'clock. And then they're going to do a little after show. And then there's going to be wrestling on tomorrow night. There's going to be wrestling on Wednesday night. And lots of wrestling on Thursday night. So it's the one constant in our lives that we no matter what's going on in our lives, we know that we can turn wrestling on and separate ourselves from reality and suspend disbelief and get involved and get excited and get passionate and emotional about the characters that we're seeing develop before our very eyes. Isn't that a great payoff when you see somebody 5 years ago and they're skinny and they're just getting started, and you look at them 5 years later, like MJF, for example? Look at him now, right? I'm serious. That's why I love wrestling. That's why I'm so passionate about wrestling. That's why I care. So a lot of times if I'm over picky or too meticulous when I scrutinize wrestling, that's just because I care too much. Does that make sense, Jake?
Yeah. By the way, check your Twitter when you can.
Okay, I sure will.
Yeah, and I also want April M. Holt would be a big improvement to Jake. She's available. No, and she blocked me and stuff, and I don't want. And I'll be very honest with you, she was kind of a cunt to me. So
how's she looking though? Is she blonde?
I really don't want to talk about her because
I'm
gonna respect Aaron and not
Aaron's
talk about
her husband. That's her former
ex-husband.
Right. Former ex EPO. She's free. I don't let that whole I'm married thing get me down either. If I'm hitting on a woman, if I think she's attractive and I want to do things, the old me would just do it. The new me doesn't care anymore. The new me's well beyond any of that stuff. The new me is blessed. The new me is anointed. And I want to stay anointed and blessed. And I want to go to heaven. So I'm not going to let any of that evil stuff the devil put in front of me years ago invade my space any longer. Get behind thee, Satan. That's what I tell him.
I wanna say thank you to anybody that came on to the show, came on here, and guys, I think we gotta let's put someone through a table and get out of here.
Hey, I want to thank everybody that's going to watch this after, because I'm going to post this to my socials, and people that are going to be exposed to your show. Maybe I never got the chance to see it before. I got a couple
Yeah,
people that love
I
it.
actually tagged. By the way, I tagged. I did tag a few people, including D'Lo Brown, because we talked about Mike Bennett.
Yeah, but I said something about D'Lo Brown that's not really shouldn't be brought up. So look, if I don't care, I own everything I say, but I did bring up something that happened in D'Lo Brown's career that he doesn't want to hear about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But D'Lo Brown's not going to come to the nursing home and kick my ass either. So it's just words, brother. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't bother blocking people, because it's just words. Unless they're just incessant and they're way out of control and they spam the whole chat with garbage, then I gotta at least time them out to chill them out. A nice 5-minute times out works wonders. You'd be surprised. If somebody's acting like a jerk, you give them a 5-minute timeout, put them right back into shape. I know you got to run. I got to run too. My lunch is getting cold. So it's been real
Love you
fun.
guys. Bye, guys.